Wow,
Oh my god, this is crazy!
middleofnowheregaming.com. Everybody go to that website. Say we sent you.
Yeah, get that
You
traffic
find, I
up.
bet they're really good at Minecraft. They're probably the antithesis of us.
This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 81 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I am joined by the two most loveliest men in video games. Lou.
What's my nickname?
Pretty in Pink. That
Pretty
was
in Pink Lou.
There we go. Got a new
Blue,
shirt.
Pretty in Pink Contaldi.
And the Destiny demigod, Miles.
Hey, I'm not doing movie quotes anymore.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's really sad.
God.
Is that your new introduction? Just, hey, I'm not doing movie quotes.
Gonna remind you guys.
It'll be
every week.
hey something. I'll figure out something every week.
You need a really random one, like Keep It Milky.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be
Then
like,
what would he say at the end then?
Well, that's why I said like Keep It Milky, but not Keep It Milky. Just needs to be
Right.
random. But anyway,
I'll just say like, hey, milkshakes aren't good for you, and then proceed to drink a whole milkshake in one go. There you go.
milkshakes aren't good for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
they're delicious.
they are delicious.
that's
I agree with
accurate, I
that.
guess.
Okay. Well, as you know, we've been running giveaways for the past 2 weeks. We are at the end of the week 2 giveaway, which the winner will receive their choice of a Broken Age for either PlayStation 4 or PC, or State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition for Xbox One. Or Lou, what are those? Are those drugs you just pulled out there?
Yeah, those are my drugs. Popping pills over here.
Or PC. Anyway, so we ended up finding out our winner. First of all, we had to disqualify the first winner because that person entered on every one of the ways that you can enter. He entered on all of them twice with 2 different emails, but included the same name on both of them. That is
Shame.
your mistake. You don't include the same goddamn name. That gave you away right away. So you're disqualified because
We're
that's
not going to
cheating.
say who it is.
No, but that is.
But you
cheating.
know who you are.
You know
And
who
if you
you
don't know who you are, then you can try and figure it out.
Let's
Then you can
face
just
it,
feel
they're-
bad. Maybe there
they're
were more
probably-
than one people.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are probably multiple people who did that, and they're all just like, "Oh, we cheated. They know. They know."
Everyone but our actual winner.
But does that disqualify them from our next giveaway?
No. If you want
Good.
to play fair next giveaway, play fair. That's all you got to do. Just play fair.
Yep.
As soon as you cheat, we disqualify you. Like, it's that simple. But regardless, we do have a winner, and our winner is Stephen McNeil, who is a Canadian. The only reason I
That's
really
gross.
know that is because one of his entries was to leave a review for our podcast on iTunes, and we can't see it because we're based in the U.S., and so he reviewed it on iTunes Canada. So it is there, but only people in Canada can see it. Or if
Now,
you
do we have a
changed-
list of poems?
of haikus?
Of haikus. Wait, I want to get this ready.
We
I'll
only
look
have
for 'em.
one, didn't we?
We got more than one, I think.
I don't really remember. I remember one of them.
We got one right away. We got one yesterday.
Yeah, the one from yesterday says, and it's from Dark Lurker, says, Mong haiku start now. Courtney, Miles, and Lou talk about games and shit.
It's accurate.
And then it was followed up by another haiku.
Yeah.
Dark Lurker 2 to 3, the contest winning machine, wrote this haiku. Fuck.
Oh, it was perfect. I laughed when I read that. But anyways, so congratulations to Steven, our winner. We've already emailed you about whether or not you want Broken Age or State of Decay, so go ahead and get back to us about that, and then we will move forward from there. But with that said, we are going to start running another giveaway this week that will end next week, and we will announce the winner again on next Tuesday's podcast.
Stuff's getting crazy.
This giveaway will be for the prequel to Wolfenstein, the Old Blood, I believe it's called, and it's on, I think, PSN, Xbox Live, and PC, I believe, so you can get it on any of those. So look out for that giveaway. Excuse me, it should start sometime this evening. So good luck on that. Hopefully we will have another awesome winner. And then after that, we will have a giveaway that will last 2 weeks, and it'll be for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, as we've said each week. So prepare for that. Starting next Tuesday, that giveaway will start.
Right.
Wow.
Free stuff.
Yeah. And then a little bit of an update. We started a little bit late today because we had some technical difficulties with our audio on OBS, which is where we stream to twitch.tv/MongPlays. For some reason, I couldn't get Lou and Miles' audio to work in the stream. But
We were all just pantomiming. We were making Courtney feel bad. We just go.
Yeah, so I was just sitting here talking and their voices weren't coming through. Eventually I got it fixed, which is why we are now streaming it, which is why we're a little bit late. But yeah, so if you want to watch the podcast each week, we are streaming it around 3 o'clock typically on twitch.tv/MongPlays. Go about till 4:30 or so. And if you don't want to watch it there, obviously you can find it on all the podcast hosting services or on YouTube at youtube.com/MongNetwork. Easy places to find it, anywhere you want to listen to it. And if you know anybody who might be interested in listening to another gaming podcast, recommend us. We appreciate it. We'd enjoy to have more listeners, more interaction, more emails with more questions, all that stuff.
Right, because really we only grow our fan base through community interaction. Like, yeah, we do these giveaways every once in a while, and we shout out through our own Twitters. But really, we've gotten as big as we are because of fans like you spreading our message and, saying, hey, we listen to Three Cool Guys. You should listen to them, too. And thank you for that.
We are the TCG podcast, the Three Cool Guys podcast.
Oh, I was going to say trading card game? What?
Trading card game. There you go. No,
I mean, that's an actual phrase. I don't think we can take that.
Yeah. All right, so what's on everybody's playlist this week?
Destiny.
Destiny. Are you preparing?
I'm gearing up for House of Wolves.
Yep.
Good.
Only another 3 weeks till that.
I got to be prepared. I got to get my stuff and then level up my stuff.
I actually felt a literal disturbance in the Force when you stopped playing, so things have been balanced. I'm happy that you're back to it.
A literal disturbance.
The world is at peace once again.
Yes.
Lou, what have you been playing?
Nothing. I have finals. I was telling the story that I keep wanting to play Persona 4, and I've started. For those keeping track of it, I've started playing it. I'm like 10 hours in, and I'm getting back to where I left off initially. But each time I go to play, it's like 11 at night, so I could really only put in like 20 minutes at a time. Despite that, I've been doing Hearthstone. Like
On your phone?
occasionally, yeah, on my phone and on my computer. It really got me back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
And I've been doing Zombies Run. I'm gonna go and run away from zombies later today. It's the mobile phone thing. We're gonna do an interview, guys. It's gonna be awesome. I'll explain that more at a later time. Don't worry about it.
Fair enough. As I talked about a little bit last week, I started Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and was like totally into it after I figured out that the EXP share thing was changed. This past weekend, I ended up getting Fire Emblem Awakening from Gamefly, and I really wanted to play it, but I was like, I can't play it without beating Alpha Sapphire, or else I will never go back. And so I just dedicated the weekend to just playing the shit out of Alpha Sapphire, and I ended up beating it. I ended up just flying through it. It took me about 30 hours to beat it. Probably could have beat it a little bit faster because I got sidetracked several times during the weekend, but I had a really good time playing it. I ended up getting all the way through the Elite Four, and then I got to that extra episode part that's at the end. That's new or whatever, and I didn't play through it. I decided to wait to play through it because I really wanted to play Fire Emblem. I was like, I've got to start this game sometime. And so since then I've played that.
Courtney,
How
I've
is Fire
heard of Yeah, go ahead and answer that question. That's a valid question.
Okay, yeah, I put in probably 5 hours into Fire Emblem. I'm on like episode 6 or so on Fire Emblem, and I'm really liking it so far. I'm playing it with permadeath on, so I've lost 2 characters so far.
That's rough.
Could not do it.
Which it's not too bad. The first one was totally. I wasn't taking my time. I wasn't weighing out. I wasn't being very cautious. And after I lost the first person, I was like, okay, I need to take a much more cautious approach to all this. And since then, I went like 3 or 4 battles in a row without losing anybody. And then I ended up getting ambushed. One of my characters got ambushed this last time, and had to withstand like 4 or 5 different attacks in a row, and just eventually just got taken down by the last one. And I was like, damn it! But oh well. But it's been really cool. I really enjoy it so far. We'll see how far I get.
Now,
Yeah.
who did you lose?
Oh god, I don't remember their names. I said one of them in the chat just today. I can go check on that.
How about their like archetype? Just tell us like what they're like.
I lost a girl the first time, and then let's see.
Was it like the sister?
No.
Okay.
The mage or whatever. I haven't lost her. Where is it? Oh, Stall. I lost Stall
Oh no!
today.
Not Stall.
I was
man.
really upset because I liked him. So
He's so good.
yeah, he's really strong, which is why he withstood 5 different attacks in a row. You know, it's like eventually he finally fell at the very end. Yeah, so it was interesting. I'm pretty upset I lost those characters, but I just figured that that's the most authentic way to play the game, and I don't want to not play it authentically. And so I want to have that experience that everybody else had the first time. But so it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I totally bitched out on it. I didn't go casual mode, but then again, if I lost one person, I'd restart everything. Well, not everything. I'd restart that level. So
yeah,
I practically did.
I heard that from a few people that they didn't play it on casual, but they still restarted after every battle if they lost somebody. And it's just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just cannot reset the battles. Like, that would just be a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah, I admit I didn't. What was the difference between casual and non-permadeath? Was there a difference, or was that
No,
casual?
casual was non-permadeath, but then the difficulties were separate from permadeath and not permadeath.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I played. Well, I didn't play with permadeath because I like to enjoy my games. So.
Yeah, see, that was the reason why I almost didn't play with permadeath, because I don't like difficult games and I like to enjoy my games. But I was just like, you know what? Like, these games are known for this. Like, I don't want to skip out on that necessarily, and so I might play it again, and if I do, I may play it on casual that time just to see how all the characters can actually continue to develop and stuff. But I don't know. I'll see how it goes. But
Right.
anyways, we also this weekend played Elder Scrolls Online,
Oh, yes, we did.
which we will be talking about in a QuickTime event.
Yeah, do you want to record it later?
Maybe. Depends on
Maybe.
how long this goes. This takes me quite a while to do all this stuff.
Right.
But maybe. So look out for a QuickTime event sometime this week. We will be talking about Elder Scrolls Online and our experiences with it. Super excited to talk about all that. As for our trivia question at the top of the video of the stream, asked, what is your favorite Xbox franchise? To which I said Halo for obvious reasons, because Halo is awesome. And that's like the only reason I ever bought an Xbox. Well, Elder Scrolls, but Elder Scrolls is an Xbox exclusive.
But Sunset Overdrive. I didn't buy for that. That was just a fun game.
I was like, that it was. I think I bought my Xbox One because of Halo Master Chief Collection, and Sunset Overdrive was just a bonus.
Yeah.
But and then Miles, you said Phantom Dust.
I definitely did say Phantom Dust because the only 2 Xbox franchise. Okay, there's 3. 3 Xbox franchises I can think of off the top of my head are Phantom Dust, Halo, and Gears of War. Even though I've played through and beaten every Halo as well as every Gears of War, Phantom Dust, which I have not even completed yet, was still a more enjoyable experience, and I have fonder memories of it. Even though Gears of War is pretty high up there, and I'm sure Halo has had its moments in the sun in my mind,
Yeah.
but I've forgotten them because it's been a very long time since I last just played it with extreme joy and frivolity and such. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
See, it's like when I think about Halo, I think about when I was 14, and my buddies and his family just got DSL for the first time. Like in our little area where I grew up, we didn't have high-speed internet for a long time, and
Yeah.
his family got DSL, and they lived about 30 miles away, and he had an Xbox, and he had Halo 2, and we were like, motherfuck, like, we are driving over there with the Xbox, and we are playing this online, and, like, so we made this huge weekend trip out of it, and played Halo Online for the first time, and it just, like, had the craziest experience. It was my first time ever playing a game online, and it's also the first time where we heard the saying, let me give you a spoon so you can eat my ass. We heard that online. Somebody said that to us, and we were like, what the fuck was that? Like, what does that even mean? And so, like, that has been one of my sayings ever since then, since I was 14 and we heard that. It's just so funny. But,
Right.
okay, so then, Lou, you said, your answer says, waits for Ori and the Blind Forest to become a franchise. Isn't it already? Technically, sorry, it's going so slow. But anyways, so Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, so far that's my favorite exclusive. It's not a franchise yet. I was going to channel the deceased spirit of Brendan and say Fable, but I'd never played a Fable game. I just figured that that's a game I would like. So yeah, I really don't know what to say other than Ori. I've never been a big Xbox guy.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite Xbox franchise when you don't play it that often. You know?
Right, like I had really like my only. I did Gears of War for a bit, and I enjoyed it. I didn't stick with it. I didn't play online. I liked Halo for its online at a time.
Yeah.
Which was very brief, and I was always really bad at it. Yeah, I'm just not good at. Maybe that's why I don't like anything. Is I'm just not good at the Xbox games because I'm bad at multiplayer in general. Like even games I'm good at, I am bad at on multiplayer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Ori, come on, Moon Studios, make more things.
Moon Studios. All right, so let's move on to the news from nowhere.
News from nowhere.
Kick us off, Lou.
Okay, starting off. Last Thursday, Sony released patch 1.03 for Bloodborne, which reduced loading times finally. Highlights from the patch. Number one, reducing load times from approximately 5 to 15 seconds. To approximately 5 to 15 seconds. May vary by circumstance. And those used to be 30-second long to a minute long load time. So that's a big fix.
That specific, before you move on, to explain that specific one, what that means is, because it says 5 to 15, it depends on what you're loading when he says circumstances. If you're loading up a brand new area, like fast traveling, that will take longer. So that's like maybe it's only 5 seconds different from what it used to be. But if you're just dying and resetting, that could be like a 15-second difference. Now it may only take like 11 instead of 26 or something like that. It's much shorter if you just die and reset rather than fast travel and have to load up an entire new area and assets. So anyways, you can continue.
They also fixed the bug that left certain lifts and elevators inoperable. They fixed a bug that resulted in bosses becoming immobilized, which happened, I think, like if you kept your game on for more than 12 or 15 hours. And I think that also counted for if you just put it on standby and it was like in the rest mode. So a lot of people were getting easy bosses, and that's bull. They fixed the bug that left players unable to advance NPC events during multiplayer. And when the PS4 is put into rest mode during online play, the game will now return to the main title screen upon resuming play. This will resolve matchmaking issues related to suspend and resume.
So, have you played it since the update, either of you?
No, I have not.
No, I haven't. I've downloaded the update and I wanted to start it up again, but
well, it automatically downloads the updates, so I assumed that much.
Yeah.
Well, I was really hoping one of you guys had experience with it, but yeah.
I was thinking about just starting it up to see a loading time.
Yeah.
Also, I think they swapped it out so that there's like actual content on the loading screen instead of just the Bloodborne.
Yeah, there are now. It's like lore. Information about items and people and bosses and stuff about like environments and things like that.
Cool.
So it makes it a lot more exciting than just Bloodborne.
Let's be honest. The only thing that is like really important in this is the fact that they fixed the load times, and I guess the secondary of being able to move on events during NPC or during online play. Because let's take this bit by bit. Lifts, I guess that's you can get around that. Like I had that issue happen to me, and I didn't even bother me. I just went around another direction. Bosses being immobilized. Let's be honest, with this game, that's awesome. So everyone was happy about that. I know some people were just doing that just to not have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, advancement, that's kind of important, but you could just jump out of online play, even though it's very difficult to get back into it. And I never ran into the last issue, so I don't know. But it's all low times.
Right.
And forgive me if you guys can hear this droning noise from my side. Somebody decided to fucking mow middle of the afternoon right next to my window. So if that ends up coming through, I'm sorry. But yeah, I didn't think so because it's kind of quiet. But I wanted to make sure. So I guess
how damn these bastards mow their lawn at a 4:30 on a beautiful day.
Well, most of the time it happens in the mornings around here. Or late in the evenings, but at the middle of the days typically just doesn't happen. But I mean, springtime, so it happens a little bit different here. But yeah, so I guess this makes Bloodborne a lot better.
Yeah.
Still not for me, probably.
It unfortunately takes away that little, that 40-second window of you being able to ask yourself, do I want to continue playing this right now?
Yeah, see, and it would, because of the loading screens it used to be, if I had played it during that 40 seconds probably would have convinced me not to play it anymore. Like, I would have probably been sitting there like, do I really want to fucking do this again? Like, now that it's shorter, I would probably continue playing it. So
I still say it's worth a try. I think
I
that
eventually will.
Right now it's busy. I get that. But eventually when The Witcher has faded away, I think it might be time to dip back into Bloodborne and just to give it a shot.
Yeah, I may try it in a few years. When The Witcher has faded away.
No, I think Courtney means he's going to try out Bloodborne 2 when it happens.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so story number 2. Blech. A little bit tired right now. Microsoft released its financial results for the third quarter of fiscal year 2015, which is January 1st through March 31st. The revenue registered was $21.7 billion, with a positive operating income of $6.6 billion. Revenue grew by 6% year over year, while income dropped by 5%. All of that doesn't really mean anything to any of us. This is where it starts to make more sense to us. Revenue for computer and gaming hardware segment dropped by 4% to $1.8 billion, while the Xbox platform revenue dropped by 24%, with shipments of both Xbox One and Xbox 360 combined summing up to 1.6 million units. So only 1.6 million units combined between both Xboxes were shipped during those 3 months. Then Xbox Live revenue grew by 30% thanks to an increase in subscribers and user engagement. Revenue of first-party games also grew by 49%.
Really?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was year over year, because I wouldn't assume that first-party content sold 49% better than the last quarter, because the last quarter had Halo and Sunset Overdrive and all those other
it
games.
must be year. It's definitely year after year. I'm guessing it's Minecraft.
Yeah, it could be.
Always Minecraft. Well, actually, with those Simpsons skins, that's a whole other audience they're going to be getting now.
And the female
Alex,
really female skin.
Okay.
Yep, they're making a new female skin.
All right. Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I just think that whole 1.6 billion combined units between Xbox One and Xbox 360, which is also shipped, not sold through. So that is also another it's weird how Microsoft is hiding their numbers. They're not giving it straightforward. They're not telling us specifically about anything. We don't know how many units they've actually sold lifetime yet. And they're doing very well. Don't get me wrong. I know that. I understand that. But I want to know more. I want to know how many units they've sold through. I want to know, how many specifically are Xbox One, how many are not combined with Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is still selling well.
Right. And, I mean, we want to know that, but it makes no sense for them to tell any of us that.
No.
They're spinning the story to the investors.
Yep.
And the investors want to hear, the investors know that PlayStation 4 is winning.
Yeah.
They understand that. So they don't want to hear we're losing by this much or we are this much behind. They want to hear, oh yeah, PlayStation 4 is doing good. We're also doing great.
Yeah.
Nebulous, we're doing great.
See, this is a spoiler for E3, but Microsoft is going to get on stage and just be like, we don't have a conference because we're done with my Xbox. Drop the mic. Leave before people start throwing stuff. So.
Why don't they just buy like 5 million Xbox Ones and then they'll be ahead of the game? Just buy it from themselves and like put it in a landfill in Albuquerque.
I feel like that would be a mass misstep on whoever suggested that part. Oh, yeah.
It's just a weird story because it's, like they can't just say that we're done with 360 or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because,
that wasn't serious.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you were. I'm just saying like, how do they improve their situation? How do they make Xbox One start being more competitive? Because it's competitive. It's just not one for one. So how can they do that? Would they have to just say that they're dropping 360, which they can't do because that install base is so big?
They just have to stop making games.
For Xbox 360?
Yeah.
They more or less have. It's only third parties making them now.
Right, but big third party, like the third parties that people care about. That's why people are still buying Xbox 360s is because they
it's mainly Minecraft.
Was Advanced Warfare?
I think Advanced Warfare was both generations. I think this year's Call of Duty is going to be the only one that hasn't been yet.
FIFA,
I've got
Assassin's Creed.
All they need to do is make a good console.
God.
All right, but let's be honest here.
1.1.
Courtney.
Yeah.
When's the last time you turned on your Xbox One?
The other day.
Did you? What were you playing?
Nothing. I didn't play anything.
It was like an accidental thing. You were just like,
I turned it on to go find Games with Gold to make sure I had them downloaded, and to grab Happy Wars because it's free right now on Xbox One. And before that, the last time I turned it on was to download the. Yes, we know that, Nick. We said that. And I had to download the Forza. The Fast and the Furious Forza thing, but I haven't played anything on it since Ori and the Blind Forest, which was 3 weeks ago. It wasn't very long ago.
Right. Yeah, the last time my Xbox has been on was when I just asked that question and my Kinect heard Xbox on. But besides that, it was when I reviewed Ori. It's really they haven't given us a reason yet. If you're not getting multi-platform, and really there's no reason to get multi-platform unless your friends are on there because everything's so far, just performing better on PlayStation 4. So says Eurogamer.
I'm playing with a dude on Destiny recently who bought a PlayStation because he was like, you know what, I want to play Destiny with the exclusives that PlayStation has as well as with my friends. So I'm gonna buy a PlayStation.
Yep.
That was his only reasoning, and it was like, I'm proud you have the money to do that. But also, just I just realized that the Kinect and the Xbox One in general are kind of like an abused child, if you think about it. It turns on when it wakes up essentially when no one wants it to. The people are just yelling at it, "Go to sleep! Don't listen!" It's just poor Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Lou said, I buy all my third-party games on PlayStation. So I only buy exclusives on Xbox One. That's all I buy for my Xbox, and that's probably all it's ever going to be, which is fine. I love the Xbox exclusives, so I don't mind continually buying those. But all my friends play on PS4, all the third-party games. They all play first-party Sony games as well, and Sony has this amazing lineup of indie games every fucking week. It's just there's so many games now, and it's just now I can play Shovel Knight on it. I know Xbox got it, I know that, but it's just week after week, it's just indie game after indie game after indie game, more games that we can play, and it's just a better overall environment of games.
True.
Yeah, I think honestly, if they overhaul the UI, I might go back to it more. Xbox One.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I think that's one of the biggest things. Thank God I have the Kinect because otherwise I wouldn't be able to navigate anything.
Yeah.
I could just I have no clue how to get to. I think I could get to my friends. I don't know how to open. I think screen captures. That was the thing.
I have
that I was
no
having
idea how to do
difficulty
that,
with.
or how to stream anything on Xbox One.
Yeah. So luckily I say Xbox, take a screenshot. It does. but otherwise, I'd be fucked. And I know that because my friend who games and has an Xbox One and kind of regrets it a little bit was asking me how to take screenshots because of something in Ori and the Blind Forest was beautiful.
But again, like, we're not downplaying the Xbox One. Like, if
We want
had,
it to be good.
Yeah, if we had more friends on it and it was like the majority of our friends were there, we would be there. That's where we would be. We could get over how it's not performing as well on some third-party games. Like, if that's where everybody was, we would be there too. Right now, everybody's on PS4, so that's where we're buying everything. So, like,
Right.
who knows if that'll change in the future? That could change. But, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say next month I'm going to be all up on the Xbox One when ODST comes out. I'm finally going to go and play through straight and do all of those Halo campaigns.
Yeah. A note on your UI complaint. I also have a complaint, and it's like, I know you can close out of apps, things like that, like where there'll be nothing technically open, but if you click back, it'll open up the last app you had and reset it. And it's like,
Right.
I didn't fucking want you to open DVD player. Like, what the fuck
Right.
are you doing? Like, I am literally just trying to back out of the screen I was on, and I accidentally clicked it one too many times, and so it's going to reopen the last app. And it just pisses me off. So then I have to close it out again, and if you accidentally happen to pull up Snap last time, it'll also pull that back up. So you got to close out of the app and Snap, and it's just like, motherfuck. Quit it.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Sad day.
But anyways,
for
let's move
Xbox.
on to story number 3.
Yeah, all right. So, story number 3 is that according to Polygon, Microsoft and Black Tusk are developing a remastered version of Gears of War for Xbox One because everyone's been raving for that one. Polygon received some information that the update will feature new visuals for gameplay and animation. Studio Plastic Wax, yep, that's right, will contribute new cutscenes. It appears that Black Tusk Studios, the developer who took over the series from Epic Games, will be the studio handling the remaster. Excuse me. This will be their first Gears game, and since the switch in development studios and since Microsoft acquired the IP, however, another source told Polygon that Splash Damage, the developer of first-person shooter Brink, oh, those are bad memories right there, would be the developer. Oh no. All of this information is yet to be confirmed by Microsoft, President of the United States, Microsoft, or Black Tusk. But Polygon seems to be confident in their sources. So, who's excited for Gears of War Remaster?
Okay, so I'm really conflicted about this. I did not enjoy Gears of War back when it came out.
More Xbox hate, damn it.
But
All right.
with that said, I was not a very open-minded gamer. I didn't like playing games that I didn't enjoy. Like, I just didn't want to branch out. I didn't try new styles of games. I was quick to judge certain games, and so I did not enjoy the first one. And so that led me to not play 2 or 3. I am now at the point to where I play all sorts of different kinds of games, and I give them all the time of day. I will judge them after playing them now. And so that's kind of making me really excited about this maybe happening, because I kind of would really enjoy diving back into it a decade later and seeing how I think of it now. Seeing if I enjoy it this time, see if it makes me excited for the reboot that's happening or or whatever is going to be making the next Gears of War actual game. So I'm kind of excited about this. I hope it's true, just to be able to do that. But then again, I may end up playing it and hating it again.
Right.
I may be no different than 15-year-old Courtney.
I mean, if you like the gameplay from The Order, then
that
chances are.
doesn't mean I will like a masculine bro shooter, because that's two different things. Gears of War is completely different in its storytelling and characters.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Even the girls look like they're on roids in Gears of War.
In their defense, that's because they have armor on. But that's all
I
I'm
know.
saying on that topic.
Just-
I don't know. I guess from the opinion of someone who did enjoy all of the Gears of War games up to date, except for Judgment, because I never played that one.
Yeah.
I thought they were very fun, but I guess from my point of view, I would really like to see where Gears of War is going from here, because they left off at a point where no spoilers, never mind. They left off at a point where I'm like, you're making a new one. I really want to know what's happening. I hope it's not a prequel, because if it's prequel, then I'm not going to play it. But if it's continuing the story, I really want to see what's next, because
Right.
I keep wanting to spoil it, but I can't. So I'll just say that they left it someplace where I'm really excited to see how they're going to make something out of what they have.
Yeah.
Right.
And just like knowing that they're working on remastered has always like I've never been excited by that fact, because I'm like, now they're remastering something, which means it'll be in like another year or two, or maybe more, depending on the studio, before I actually see something new.
Yeah.
And I'm a new person. I like new things, and
Right.
I don't like the fact that the people who behind Brink are working on this, because that game was, in my experience, awful. But
But that doesn't mean a remaster of an old game would be awful from them.
that's true. It's just it doesn't give me hope, because I don't. Did either of you play that game,
Which one?
Brink?
I
No.
rented it once and never got to play it.
I mean, you did yourself a favor. Like,
Ooh.
the AI was already stupid in Gears of War, like the original. It was Dom made me lose so many missions. It was not funny. And Brink's AI is even dumber.
Yeah.
I was down on the ground. A medic came to me, ran around me in a circle for 5 times, then ran away. And I was just like, what? What are you doing, medic? This is not what you should be doing. So yeah, that's my opinion on the whole thing.
Right.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Moving
All right,
on.
so moving on, rolling that steam train on. Halo 5 Guardians Limited Edition Xbox One is coming.
What?
I've said it so many times. Gonna say it again. This might be what makes me get an Xbox One. Probably not. Josh Holmes, studio head for Halo 5 Guardians, says a limited edition is coming and it's in the works, though he didn't have any pictures to share, which kind of makes this a little bit disappointing. In
Right.
response to fan inquiry on Twitter, Holmes wrote, and I quote, "There's a limited edition console coming. Yes, hasn't been revealed yet, but it's pretty sweet." That is like the jerkiest tweet you could have made in this topic.
Yeah, when we were getting ready to start the podcast and Miles was going through the stories, he's like, "Oh my god, I need a link for the story. I need a link. Where's the story? I need to see the story. Is there a picture?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Well, never mind." I was just
Just made me not care at all.
Right.
Damn it. But yeah, no, this is good news. Back before Halo Master Chief Collection came out, we were very vocal about the fact that Microsoft was stupid that was not a bundle. Very stupid. Obviously, it now is a bundle, and it wasn't a bundle probably because of all the issues that they knew were going to be, that were going to be included in the box. But it's just like that's the same thing for Halo 5. It would be stupid for them not to have a bundle because this is their system seller. This is the game everybody wants, and so why would you not include it in a bundle? So it's going to make a lot of sense. It's going to sell a lot of Xbox Ones, especially if it's convincing Miles. If it convinces Miles, it's got to convince a lot more people.
It all depends on what it looks like. If it's like sexy looking, I'll get it. But actually, in its defense, this is the only Halo console that I will not have already had the console, so I'll actually think about buying it. Because before, like all the other Halos, I've had an Xbox or an Xbox 360 when they announced it. So it was like, oh, that's awesome, but I'm not spending more money. But
I mean, and at this point, if you do end up getting this bundle or any bundle with Halo 5, you'll also be able to get Master Chief Collection for like a super cheap price because it'll have been out for a year.
It'll be like $20 or something.
So you'll be able to get all of the games except for ODST because you didn't have it ahead of time.
That's the only one I haven't played. So.
Oh man.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to, and it like glitched. And whenever I went to pick up one of the team's armor that you play through their last moments, it gave me the same person over and over again, no matter what piece I picked up. So I couldn't ever finish it, and I stopped caring.
Right. Oh. Oh man, that sucks. All right. So speaking of shooters,
Pow pow.
pow pow,
Boom,
Call of
boom.
Duty Black Ops 3 has finally been revealed. We knew it was coming because of the teaser trailer 2 weeks ago, but it has actually been revealed. On Sunday, Treyarch released a trailer for it, which was, 2 minutes long, something like that. And it revealed that the game will be coming to PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on November 6th, which is 2 weeks ahead of Star Wars Battlefront. And
Right.
a week after... Oh, I think a week after Halo 5? What's Halo 5? October 27th or 28th? Something like that.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Question.
My head.
The game will include 4-player co-op, and in fact, the entire story campaign will be designed to accommodate this, which is the first time in the series' history. Character classes are also included with the ability to choose among 9 different specialists, each split into 2 different sub-specializations. Traversing the terrain will be with the futuristic parkour-like way that we've been seeing in all these other games, Advanced Warfare and Titanfall. Wall running and similar features that will let you zip around the map. There will also be a zombies mode, which will have its own story and full experience-based progression system, which is another first for the series. Very, very cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I am not excited about the futuristic aspect of the game. It sounds cool, like the story does. Because I've got this whole AI thing going on,
Right.
But at the same time, I went on a Twitter rant on Sunday, right after the trailer was released, about how the first-person shooter market is flooded with sci-fi shooters now. Everything is sci-fi, and I listed 6 of the biggest first-person shooters last year and this year, and they're all sci-fi. There's not a single one that's either current, modern warfare type, or previous in the past, and it's just I'm getting worn out. I'm reaching fatigue on these sci-fi shooters. I love them. I continue to play all these shooters because they're in my favorite franchises, but I'm getting tired of them.
It'd be really awesome, now that you said it, if someone made a fantasy shooter.
A fantasy shooter?
Yeah, what
That'd
if
be interesting.
not wands and magic necessarily, but what if your weapons were actually made out of fantastical things like nth metal or demon bone or vines of the great tree or something.
This is
I'm
a
not
game
making
we
fun of
should
fantasy.
start working on.
I mean, I think that there were talks about. I think I heard people talking that they would want to see Bloodborne, from studios, from software, make a shooter because they're so innovative and they could really put an interesting twist. But I would love to see that.
That would be cool.
Third person or first person?
I mean, there was both in the other one. Put the monocle on.
Now I'm
Oh,
super
I-
excited
I-
about the fact that there will be 4-player co-op in the campaign. That's never been done. That's a Halo thing. Halo, you could do that, but you couldn't do that in Call of Duty.
Right.
So technically, when we all rent this, when it comes out, we can play together.
Yeah.
Huh? Just throw it on your GameFly, Miles. Just throw it on your GameFly. Get it for a week. We can play it,
Okay.
and we can send it back.
I'm canceling my GameFly for one.
Are you?
Yeah, but you can always
Yes.
restart it for the same amount anytime.
Well, I did it for free this time. I'm not paying
Oh.
$15 next time. It took a week to get Mortal Kombat. I have no idea if it's gotten back to them yet. But I'm also not a fan of Call of Duty, so that's my big thing. So
Right.
I'll keep playing Destiny. Oh, here's what we'll do. We'll all get in one PlayStation party. You all will be playing Black Ops, and I'll be playing Destiny, and we'll act like we're playing the same game.
How do you guys feel about the zombie mode, the story?
That's actually what I'm most excited about. That's what I want to play if I get this, if I rent this.
Yep.
Because in college, wasn't excited about playing Call of Duty. Just didn't. I mean, I think I actually watched my roommates play the Black Ops campaign because it was an interesting thing to watch.
Yeah. The first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
Maybe the second one. I can't even remember anymore. But what I was saying was the zombies was something you could just jump in and play, and that was where I had the most fun. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah. Actually, that was back when I completely hated zombies, and I actually had fun with that mode. That specific mode I had fun with.
The zombies mode?
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoy zombies mode. It's always been really fun to play that with a bunch of friends. But the worst part about it is the lack of story. It was cool to just drop you in there and battle against all your friends, or battle
Right.
with all your friends against all the zombies. But the fact that it's going to have XP progression and it's going to have a story to keep it going along, that just makes it so much cooler. It makes it more like Left 4 Dead kind of in a sense. But I don't know. It seems cool. We'll see if it's any good. It could end up just being horrible. So
Right.
Definitely could, yeah. But
All right, so
moving on.
moving on to things that are horrible.
yeah.
Silent Hills has been canceled by Konami.
What?
per a press release on Monday. The statement says that Konami is committed to new Silent Hills titles. However, the embryonic Silent Hills project, developed with Guillermo del Toro and featuring the likeness of Norman Reedus, will not be continued. Rumor started last week when a message popped up saying that the playable teaser, referred to as PT, will no longer be available from PlayStation Store after Wednesday, April 29th. Download it if you haven't right now. Soon after, both Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro commented on the rumor. Reedus tweeted, "Super bummed about this, was really looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll come back around. Sorry, everyone." Del Toro said, "It's not going to happen, and that breaks my greasy heart." This cancellation then was confirmed on Monday.
Breaks his greasy heart.
That's what it says. Maybe you type that in there, and I just don't know.
No, that really was said.
If it's in the script, I read it. So
I feel like Guillermo del Toro is a large man, which he is, and he acknowledges that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is unfortunate. Silent Hills was actually scary, unlike all this Five Nights at Freddy crap that's going around. And Five Nights at Freddy isn't scary. PT was actually scary and could have been something great. And everyone loves Norman Reedus. I mean, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mog. Sorry.
He's the best character on Walking Dead because that show is really bad.
Hey, you need to quit slinging around all this hate. You just hate everybody.
It is really bad, though, so I'll back up Miles on this one.
It is not, actually. But go ahead. Continue.
But yeah, that was all I had to say. It's unfortunate because also Guillermo del Toro is awesome. Hellboy 2. That was good.
I like a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
Right.
And Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth,
this is really incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Konami, first off.
Yeah,
I don't know
shit.
what the issue is, but I'm going to say it's your fault because I have no one else to put that blame on. Maybe it's Kojima. I don't know. But that PT so far has been hands down the most next-gen experience I've had.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. That one has been the one that I went and said, I don't think I could have something that awesome on last-gen software. And albeit it was a free teaser, that was what I was most excited to. And you know what? There are people who, that teaser itself, they had the console sold on them. For one of my friends, Bill, who's been on QuickTime Event, he bought the PlayStation 4 after playing PT. Even though he already had an Xbox One, he was like, "Do you know what? If this is just a PlayStation exclusive, I need to play this game because that was a great experience." So
now, see, I don't at all consider it a next gen experience. Like,
no,
not even a bit. I absolutely believe it could have been done on previous generations. May not have looked as good, but what I do consider it is one of the best experiences I've had on this generation. And I can only name a handful of experiences that have been equally as awesome. Like, of course I could say playing Dragon Age Inquisition. It was such an amazing game, but that's not like the experience I'm talking about. I'm talking about the word of mouth and the fascination and spread, like how quickly it spread across the internet about this game, and everybody had to beat it. Everybody had to figure out what was going on. Nobody knew. Like that whole experience of what that was like. It was just amazing. It was something else I've never been a part of. And like I could compare that to playing Destiny's alpha and beta last summer. I was not sold on that game. Like I thought it looked cool, had some potential, but when they just suddenly were like, fuck it, everybody can play the beta, and everybody got in, and just the fascination with that game, it completely sold me on that game. Like I was absolutely like head over heels in love with the way Destiny's beta played, and I was ready to buy it on day one, and I was not going to buy it before that. It's just like those little situations like that it's so incredible, which I could also compare to another one this weekend, but we'll get into that on QuickTime Event.
Ooh.
Oh.
Teaser. Yeah.
Wait, so whose fault do we think this is?
Konami. They're dropping the ball. Did you see the stock share thing? They pulled out of the New York Stock Exchange thing or whatever.
I don't deserve to be there.
That's basically what they said. I think they said like it wasn't like financially something for them. Or I don't know. Konami Stock Exchange.
I thought that they got unlisted and then like relisted in the same
Konami
day.
delists itself from the New York Stock Exchange. Konami faces down the cancellation of anticipated Silent Hills and the apparent labor dispute with story developer Hideo Kojima, the venerable Japanese publisher has voluntarily decided to delist itself, effectively coming in July. In a statement provided to the Game Informer, Konami noted that it expanded to the New York Stock Exchange in 2002, mainly to diversify its opportunities for fundraising and to raise the visibility of the Konami brand. Since then, Japanese stocks have been open to foreign investors. The updates to Japanese accounting standards have put the country more in line with those in the U.S., Konami said. Overall, less than 0.3% of the company's total international trading takes place in the U.S. The vast majority of the rest goes through Tokyo, meaning that the New York listing is not economically justified. That happened like within days of the cancellation of Silent Hills. So it's Konami's totally at fault right here.
That's heartbreaking because there hasn't been, I don't think, a real cancellation that has, actually upset me like this one has. Certainly, what was that other one that we were all upset? What's your favorite Xbox game, Miles?
Phantom Dust?
Phantom Dust, yeah.
Phantom Dust, that got canceled. That was kind of upsetting because it looked cool.
Canceled.
It's not canceled.
Not canceled, sorry.
Don't you care.
It looked cool and whatever. This was a game that we played, and everyone I don't think there was one person on the internet that wasn't excited about this game.
Well, there are people who didn't care. Some people don't care, but I know a bunch of non-Silent Hill fans that wanted this game because of PT, and that shows the reach of it. So it's just this is a terribly upsetting situation. They've said that the series is going to continue, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be Silent Hills. Nobody's going to want it.
It's not going to be that direction, and that's what people wanted. They wanted that direction. That was beautiful and scary and horrifying at the same time. And whenever I tell someone about why you need to get a PlayStation 4, I mention that game.
Yep.
That's always in the list of things that I have to throw. And now I can't even do that because you can't even download the damn teaser anymore.
Today's the last day you can get it, so it's just
and that's if you're listening
today, Tuesday, April 28th, because it's supposed to be taken down tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow it'll be gone forever. And it's just fuck. And that's also what it means is you have to download it to your hard drive. Even if you have it just purchased, they're taking that away, is what I've understood. You actually have to have it downloaded for it to stay on your hard drive, for you to always have it.
Right.
I know someone I don't know if it was Beyond or GameScoop, but they suggested that a company just, kind of go behind some closed doors behind the building out back and just be like, hey, Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, you still want to make that game? You can come here.
Make
you can
a
do
scary
it here.
game. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Silent
Make
Hills.
It scary. Yeah, they suggested just get those two and don't name it Silent Hills, of course.
Yep.
And I guess actually now that I think about it, that's actually you can do that, right, Lou? You're a lawyer. Can you do that?
Oh yeah, they can make a scary game.
Yeah.
Just look at The Evil Within. That's rips off things from Resident Evil 4, which was the last game that he was in or that he made. It's just so
just look at Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9. That's another
true,
one.
yeah.
You could totally do that.
Right.
So there you go.
Even bring Norman Reedus.
Just
Also,
name it Scary Game.
People in the chat, if you're here,
Silence Hill.
let us know what you think too. If you liked it, what you think about this, what should happen.
Oh God, that would be awesome. I really hope it comes back in some form. It doesn't have to be Silent Hill. It could be any other game like you were talking about. That would be cool.
Imagine if it comes back when VR is a thing in
households.
households.
No, I don't want to imagine that. I have enough nightmares as it is in reality. I don't need that. Nope.
Especially something in that quality, because right now they still do a lot of VR things which are horror, but the textures are low and all that. If I'm in that hallway, I want to kill myself. I think I had a nightmare. I was in that hallway. I just refused to move. I punched myself awake.
I mean, that's a good strategy right there. Because if you punch yourself, you're either going to wake up or you're just going to fall unconscious, and maybe the ghost won't be interested in you anymore.
Yeah. It's either I wake up from a dream or I kill myself, and both are better options than walking down that hallway.
You're right. Next story, I believe.
Yep. Next story.
Oh, next story. One second, I gotta pull that up. I'm looking at the chat because people there are saying Bethesda should do it. I totally agree. That'd be awesome.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Hey,
That'd be
we got a
very
message
good
back
E3
from our
review.
giveaway winner. He won Broken Age, PS4.
Yay!
Sweet. So we'll be giving away Broken Age this week.
Awesome.
No, this is
All right.
Hip Hop.
So number 7, Batman Arkham Knight will get a season pass that offers 6 months of content post-launch.
That's
This
awesome. Continue.
Yes. The season pass by itself will cost $39.99.
What?
But also, I know. But you could also purchase the just announced premium edition for $99.99, which contains both the game and the season pass, which is the same thing as buying the game and the season pass on their own. Anyway, the premium edition on PC will cost $79.99, so go for that if you're a PC player. A lot of content comes with the season pass, supposedly. New story missions, more supervillains, Batmobile skins, advanced challenge maps, character skins, and a new racetrack. Multiple
So
racetracks.
here. First of all, I don't give
That's
a
one
fuck
money.
about challenge maps. Didn't in any of the other Batman games. Won't in this game. Don't give a fuck about skins. Don't give a fuck about racetracks. So like more than half of that stuff, I don't care about. I would only care about story stuff.
You don't want to play as Terry McGinnis?
No, I don't give a shit.
Oh man, that's messed up.
The biggest thing, like my biggest takeaway from this is that they're turning Batman into Call of Duty. Call of Duty every year has that huge season pass for like 30 or 40 or 50 bucks. One year it was 50 bucks. It's
I was
just
going to
like,
say Assassin's Creed Unity.
but they don't have story passes like this or content pass or DLC season passes. That's what I was going for.
Oh, they don't?
No,
Really?
not there. It's only ever like 1995 or 1999
thought-
or 24.99.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're certainly not this expensive, but I thought they had a season pass.
Yeah, they do every year.
Okay.
But it's not
All
like
right.
this.
I'm
Like,
making sure that's right.
I'm comparing
Okay.
prices. I'm comparing the season pass price to Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the only one out there that has this huge season pass price every year. And
Right.
I just cannot justify paying for 2/3 of the game price-wise for DLC.
Right. I
That's-
think that, especially after playing Arkham Knight, and I loved Arkham Knight, but like there
Or you
was
mean
some
Arkham
deal.
City?
Arkham City. I'm not playing some pre-release version.
Sorry, I enjoyed Arkham Knight, guys.
Whatever.
6 out of 10.
Arkham City. That was a great game, but the bonus content for that did nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like the Catwoman stuff.
I didn't care
Take
for
it or
it.
leave it. I could have just dropped that.
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly like Rocksteady hasn't been able to show me that they can make downloadable content that I care about enough to do this. And there are going to be the comic book fans who will buy into this. I just urge everyone to wait and see what the reviews for the story missions are, because I don't think that Rocksteady has enough of a lineup with extras to really warrant a $39.99 asking price.
I guarantee you that The Witcher, when its DLC comes out, its expansion packs, it's going to
Yeah.
be highly reviewed compared to this. It's going to be cheaper and it's going to provide more content. And yet, CD Projekt Red was like, don't buy it right away if you have any questions. Wait for reviews.
Right.
This, coming from Warner Brothers, they're like, $39.99 or you can buy a $100 special pack. Like, go ahead. It's going to include a lot of shit, guys. It's just like...
Yeah.
Oh my god! The two different publishers there, you could tell like the difference, or the developers and stuff. Like,
And I love that they're like, oh, you could totally get the game for $59.99 and the season pass for $39.99, or you could get it for the special price,
which is the same price as them
$99.99.
combined,
It's like you couldn't even at least give us like $5 off. Come on.
right?
But yeah, that's a hefty price tag. Like
Yeah.
I have to really think hard when I'm buying a game. Like when they have $25 season passes, I have to think very hard on
Yep.
if I want to pay that, because it's $85
Most.
for a game that I haven't played yet.
Yep.
$40. That's like another game. I could be buying a used version of.
Or several.
Well, I was thinking like a used version of a newer game,
Oh yeah, yeah.
relatively newer game, but still, that's No.
Like you were saying, when there's like a $25 season pass, typically I weigh my options and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I could spend that much. I look at the DLC, and most of the time it's like one story mission or 3 story missions in this one pack, and then like all these weapons and skins in another pack, and that makes up the $25. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want any of the skins anyways, so I'm just going to pay the $10 or the $15 and get the actual story content. It's like, I don't want everything in the DLC. Like, I just want the story stuff. And so it's like, if it comes down to it, whenever this launches and they announce the individual packs and there are story packs for $9.99, I will buy that. But I'm not going to buy $40 worth.
I have a question for you guys, not including collection edition packages that we've gotten, so not including Destiny.
Yeah.
But what is the last season pass for a game that you bought?
Oh.
Watch Dogs. I was horribly disappointed because I didn't even finish that game.
I just
Like, no
the way
joke.
you said it.
Can you send it over to me? I kind of want to play Watch Dogs, and I haven't been able to
I don't
warrant
have
the
it anymore.
$10. Okay,
I sold it.
that's why it costs $9.99 now.
I don't even know. Maybe Borderlands 2, and I was also extremely disappointed. Like, I played that first one, the pirate
Really?
one. Yeah, the pirate one was just so upsetting. Like, it was just boring. And I
Right.
just did not go back. Didn't play another one of them. I know that there were some good ones in there, but I just never did. That may be the last one.
Right. Fable Merc says the last one he got was Shadow of Mordor Season Pass. I actually did hear that one was pretty decent.
Yeah.
The last one I got was The Last of Us. And I put money down on because I knew there was story content, and I did it on the background of Naughty Dog's Prestige. Like, I knew that I could most likely trust them as a developer. And a lot of people will have that with Rocksteady. I personally don't. I think they're one of the best developers, especially in terms of like Metroidvania games. But I've had their add-on content before, and it was nothing special.
Yeah. And actually, I take it back. It wasn't Borderlands 2 because of what Tunde just said in the chat. He said his last one was Assassin's Creed 4. Mine was Assassin's Creed 3. That was the last one. I know I bought that one because I did the Tyranny of King Washington. I
Was
played
that one disappointing?
No, that one was actually really good.
Really?
I was surprised. Yeah, I really enjoyed it because it was all story content. It was King Washington, an alternate timeline where he became king, a ruling, like, ruthless king instead of president. And it was really cool. I really enjoyed that. But I haven't bought any since then.
Right.
I don't know, like in my recent experiences, which is I think the only experiences I've had with season passes, like I've just been really disappointed by them.
Yeah.
Like I either really find myself not enjoying the game enough that I want to play more of it, in the case of Watch Dogs, or I really enjoy the game but I might have played too much of it, like Borderlands 2, and like I got that season pass, didn't play any of it. Got the Watch Dogs season pass, played none of it. Got the only season pass I've been really pleased with. The only season passes I've been pleased with were the Gears of War 3 one, and that's because I got that for free, and by like accident. And then I got the Destiny one for not for free, clearly not for free, but I got that one, and that's also the only game I've like stopped playing for months and actually come back to it. So,
Right.
I was wondering, does the season pass, like the way we like or don't like or dislike these season passes, does it have anything to do with something along the lines like our disposable income combined with how many games we have? Like, for instance, say we were a 16-year-old. We're a bunch of 16-year-olds, and we got Destiny and its season pass. Would we enjoy that much more because we don't have every other game basically released in the past 6 months also? Because, like, as of right now, we have so many games on our backlogs. We buy all the new releases. We buy all the big-name games that we don't spend a whole lot of time with it. So would we enjoy season passes more that way? If, it's like how you remember when you were 12 and you played 400 hours of Mario because it was the only game you had, that kind of thing. Would that change our
Right.
minds, do you think?
I mean, go ahead, Miles.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I played Warframe for 300 hours when I didn't have any money for that exact reason. I was like, I really love this game because I have nothing else to do. So, not to say that Warframe's bad, but yeah, that mindset is like, you make do with what you have. If you're not getting anything else, and you're gonna play the season pass. Is like, what else am I gonna do?
Yep.
Go and actually be fit and get some working out done? No way. I don't want to look like
Fuck that
Tyrese
noise.
Gibson or something.
Right. Yeah, I mean, everyone has Stockholm Syndrome with bad games, and
Yeah.
so much so that you will go and buy DLC for bad games.
Yep.
If you've played them enough, because you get used to the quirks and you start to like them. I mean, I think that that's definitely the case for a lot of people, and yeah, they might buy season pass before that, or they might buy season passes afterwards. I don't think people go into it buying season passes unless it's super hyped up, which a lot of them are for absolutely no. Like,
Yeah.
did BioShock have a season pass? Infinite?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I
both
feel like
of
a
its-
lot of people bought, and not to say that the DLC wasn't good because I didn't play the DLC. I actually heard it was pretty decent.
It was really
but
good.
like,
Yeah, I bought it, so I did buy
Right.
that one too.
Right. So, but I think just like a lot of people buy things based on the name. It's the same reason why a lot of people do full pre-orders of things based on the name, and it's never really a smart idea. I think even if you don't, especially if you don't have a disposable income like we do, and as arguably that we do, yeah, we just there's so many sources on the internet to go and look whether it's worth your money.
Yeah.
Because sure, you're gonna enjoy playing your season pass for. I'm trying to look at what's a bad game in my in my catalog right now. Sure, you're gonna enjoy playing your season pass of Watch Dogs if you've put 200 hours into it because it's the only game you have.
Yeah.
But you'd certainly be better off buying anything else.
Yeah, I don't know. For Batman's case, it's like that season pass is another game. I'd rather just have another game just in case. But
Yeah, if this season pass was 4 or 5 different story packs that all included another, 5, 6, 10 missions,
Right.
something like that, 5 to 10 hours worth of content, each one of them, then that justifies it. Absolutely justifies $40. And that makes me more inclined to buy it. But the fact that it is skins and more bad guys
Right.
and more racetracks, and it's just like, that is just no.
But we don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, they
who
haven't
knows?
said how much story's in it. For all we know, it could be like, 50 hours of story mission. No, I don't want to be. But it could be like it could be like 15. 15's a more reasonable one. 15 hours of story missions, which would be crazy. And then also, we throw in a couple extra tracks and stuff. It matters how much of the stress is on story missions because that is what people actually care about.
Yeah.
And also maybe getting some old traditional Batman skins because that is great. I love having the Batman Beyond skin. But with
But
that,
you get all
except-
those for like pre-ordering and stuff.
I
though,
know.
Normally.
I really like the Batman Beyond skin.
All right, so let's move on. We're extending this one a little too long. Story number 8. This is an interesting story. Final Fantasy 15 game director Hajime Tabata announced that Final Fantasy 15 episode Duscae Type 0 is coming, which is an update to the demo that launched last month with Type 0 HD. Excuse me. And it will launch next month in May. Only those who already have the demo will be able to get the update. It will include several improvements, like better targeting and camera system, improved combat system, and additional dodge rolls. The team is also reassessing how data is handled and how objects are rendered in order to improve the frame rate, though it's not guaranteed that will be included in the update. Along with this, there's going to be like an episode Duscae, free missions or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. I didn't write it down. I didn't put it on here because it's not exact. It's hard to understand. It's going to be this update that's going to be in the full game whenever it comes out. It's this mode where it's basically like you can go out on missions with certain characters. Like one day, 2 of your characters will want to go out and do something, and so your team will split up. And when they come back for camp that night, they'll bring back all the stuff that they gathered and things like that. It's really weird, but it's part of this demo is going to be included in the final game. It's going to be its own special weird mode.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really weird. This whole thing, they're updating a demo. Has that ever been done?
PT, I think. Maybe.
I don't know.
PT is not technically a demo though. It's a playable teaser.
I don't feel good about this marketing method.
I don't think it's marketing.
Well, no, the whole method of you have to buy this game that you might not even want to get this demo
Yeah.
for a game that you might want, but you don't know if you want it or not because you haven't played the demo and you're not going to play it because you're attached to a game you don't want. So
Right.
Yeah, I understand why people don't enjoy it. It's one of those weird industry practices that's been done for a while, long time now. And
Yeah.
it's silly that they have to do this. It
And
makes
it's super
sense.
successful, too,
Yeah, it makes a lot
unfortunately.
of sense financially for them to do it because it's paid off. But it's silly. Specifically about this story, I find it really interesting that they're updating the demo. In the story, in the announcement, whenever he was announcing this, he released a bunch of graphics, a bunch of like approval ratings, basically, like what people thought of the demo, and like in America there was an 86% approval rating of the demo. In Japan, there was an 80%, and in Europe, there was an 83%. And so worldwide, 83% of people enjoyed the demo or positively thought of it or whatever, and they all gave a bunch of feedback and stuff, and they're taking like all of this feedback and going to put it into the final game to make it a better game and all that. And part of that is going into this demo. Part of it, like with the improved combat, improved camera, improved targeting, improved dodge rolls, things like that. They're adding that into this demo to test it out again and get more feedback again. So that's part of it. So this is kind of like a beta in a sense. It's testing the market, seeing what people like about it, seeing what people dislike, seeing what they need to change. So in a sense, this is a paid beta, and that's kind of how I look at it.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird.
It's weird in a way that I'm still unsure about whether I'm getting, because I am not that a big enough fan to dive into that kind of thing. I mean, it's going to sell copies. Hopefully, they just release it to the mass public like a week beforehand so we all could try. Because I think it's a waste of resources if you're going to have that demo and not release it to the public at least, a month, 2 weeks before the game comes out. Because that might be the deciding factor for me.
Along the same lines with Final Fantasy 15, it was also revealed that it'll only be in limited availability at E3, which is strange if you think that it's coming out next year. So that may actually be a sign that it's still another 2 years out, which then if that's the case, I can see it being like you just said, that the demo will become available eventually. If it was coming out next year, no way. Like, I just don't think it'll come out.
Are we having any E3 representation? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so.
I don't know. The demo is what would help me decide if I want to buy this. If I don't play the demo, I'm not buying this. So
can we share play it? I forget. Are we able to do that?
That's a good question.
Probably.
I'm not sure. That may have been one of the things that you can't play. Share play Final Fantasy.
It seems like a giant loophole.
The episode
Duscae.
Will block
Duscae.
share. It blocks share play.
Okay, yeah, I'm not getting this game.
Yeah, that sucks.
I was like a little bit hyped when I started to see the demo on Twitch and stuff. I was like, I might actually play this. And now
It
I'm
is
just
awesome.
like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Right.
It's awesome. Moving on.
So, last story of the day is Telltale Game. Well, last story that is actually story, not question. Telltale Games is combining their efforts with Marvel Games to bring about another hit, I believe, hopefully. Specific information in terms of which heroes and which teams and villains will be appearing, or if the title will focus on the less super characters like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for example, not necessarily those people specifically. None of that has really been revealed yet, but the executive producer of Marvel Games, Mike Jones, Mike Jones, the rapper is what I was referencing, commended Telltale Games for the storytelling and narrative skills, saying that the developer met the standards which Marvel has for themselves in those regards. To quote Jones, "It takes a long time to find the right partner. We have one special game we're excited about," and Jones went on to explain that Marvel wants to make a sexy game that turns heads to get people excited, which makes sense. And considering Telltale's track record of success after success, it's no surprise that Marvel believes that they can make the next sexy head turner in their video game catalog. And little other information was given beyond that, like in terms of release date or anything. But we know that it's coming to PC and consoles was mentioned, not specific ones, in 2017.
Right.
So I don't know about you guys, but an entire quote from Jones, sounded almost like a relationship, like a profile that you're putting on a dating profile or something like. It takes a long time to find the right partner. We have one special girl that we're really excited about. It's like, they're trying to make sexy games. It turns heads. It gets people like it just all was really interesting sounding. And this is really weird. Like this came out of nowhere. It was last Thursday when this news broke. Like seconds after I was done recording, editing, producing, and publishing the news from nowhere last week on Thursday, I had just got it uploaded to YouTube and sent the story out, and this broke. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was like, it's 7:30 at night. Like, why are you breaking this now? Like, I was so upset.
Was that some kind of event that they revealed it, right?
I don't know.
I think. Well, regardless, I'm excited because I'm a comic book geek. This is in my field of expertise.
What comic book should Telltale be working on?
That is a very broad question. It could either be an event or a specific comic book. If it's an event, I suggested Civil War or...
Everyone says Civil War.
Well, Civil War is great. That's a really interesting timeline. But Civil War, maybe Secret Wars or Secret Invasion. Well, probably not Secret Wars. Secret Invasion, maybe. In terms of characters or comic series, no, Deadpool does not need to happen. Maybe X-Men or Guardians of the Galaxies, or they could like key into some of the lesser-known heroes, which would, well, not Guardians of the Galaxies anymore, but
dude. Guardians of the Galaxies would be, or Guardians of the Galaxy would be in a freaking awesome Telltale game because of the humor. Because of the humor, like it fits Telltale.
And that's what I was thinking, also because they're like my favorite Marvel team. But yeah, they could go into, like I said, they could. Oh, actually, a backstory on like Nick Fury would be kind of interesting because there's some crazy stuff that's going on with Nick Fury. So
maybe they could finally flesh out Black Widow. For like mainstream audiences. I don't know what her background is. Do you think that they
would choose an obscure, lesser-known one, or do you think they would want to go with a bigger hit that guarantees it'll be successful?
They did The Wolf Among Us. I think they're going to go with an obscure one.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe, but they also did The Walking Dead, and they did Game of Thrones, and they did Borderlands. You know, all big hits, and they're doing Minecraft. It's like those are all major hits elsewhere. So
if they go ahead.
No, I was just saying The Wolf Among Us is just the odd one in that series, in all of those.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because if you think about it, Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxies was not known before the movie came out.
I didn't know anything about it. I'd never even heard of it.
Like, everyone was talking trash about it, because they're like, oh, it's a talking raccoon, that looks so stupid, because they're ignorant dumbasses. But, you know, when people actually saw the movie, it got big, and everyone loves it now. So they could pick, like... not the Outsiders, the Beyonders, I think. I don't remember what the team's name is because that's how obscure they are. But yeah, there's a lot of characters who don't get spotlight in the Marvel universe and all the universes. Let's be fair. That could potentially get themselves a household name because they were in a Telltale game, and who knows?
Tunde asks, "Do you think it's going to be successful?" Because when it comes to video game or superhero video games, people want to control the cool stuff going on and not watch it. From him, what do you think?
I think it has a chance to be successful. I mean, Tales from the Borderlands is successful, right?
Yeah, it's a Telltale game.
Yeah.
Like I don't until they just fuck something up like really bad. I don't think we're ever going to see an unsuccessful Telltale game.
Right. I mean, they made us care about the Borderlands storyline.
Exactly.
They made
Who can make you care about Borderlands storyline?
Yeah, and they made us care about Wolf Among Us, the fairy tales. Like, I didn't give a shit about the comic book series or whatever. Like, I absolutely no shits, Now I want to know what's going to happen to Bigby, Like, what's happening next? The cliffhanger at the end of season 1, I am so ready for season 2.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely care now. And it's so I think it will be successful. They will make us care. They've got a good team of writers.
Yeah, I think it'll be successful, and if anyone is going to make that successful, Marvel has the right Telltale, because they've done it so many times.
Yep.
They turned a first-person shooter into not point and click, but an adventure game.
Yep.
So they
Could
turned
be awesome.
Walking Dead into an adventure game.
So then let's move on to the listener questions, which we also have another question from Tunde.
The Question Master.
The question
The Riddler.
Master. Pronounced Tunde.
Tunde Question Master Abim? Abim, I think that's it.
He asked, which you can email us at contact.mong@gmail.com if you have any questions, which if you email us anytime before the podcast starts, we'll add it on here and then answer it during that episode. He asked, do you think Square Enix's E3 press conference will focus on more Western games than Japanese? I personally think The only substantial Japanese game info we will get is for Final Fantasy 15, since it's pretty far along in development. Kingdom Hearts 3 is also given, but I think we'll all get a small teaser. It'll probably be it for Square Enix's Japanese games. Yes, I'm actually of the opinion that we probably will maybe not even see either of them. Kingdom Hearts 3 or Square Enix, or not Square Enix, or Final Fantasy 15. They may have like a showroom playable demo or trailer or something, but I'm not sure if they're going to show up in any major, press conferences, videos, anything like that. I know Square Enix has their own press conference, so we may get like a minute teaser for each of them. But other than that, I don't really think they're going to go into it because it's already been announced that Final Fantasy 15 will barely be there. So, and if it's not going to be there, Kingdom Hearts isn't going to be there. 15 is coming before Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 is farther
Wasn't
out.
there a story that they said that Kingdom Hearts wasn't going to be at E3?
Last year, I thought.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. But I don't know. There's so many times we hear it's not going to be, or
no one really knows what's happening with that.
I know exactly what Square Enix is going to do.
What?
They're going to come on stage. Final Fantasy VII is going to start playing behind them. It'll be the same thing, the same trailer, except for this time they'll be like, we saw how angry you were last time. This time we have up-to-date music in high-definition recordings.
We're releasing the soundtrack.
Yeah, they'll probably show Final Fantasy VII with an actual release date this time. Like it was supposed to be spring, which now it's not coming out in spring, or else we would know about the release date by now.
Yeah.
Right.
But
what other Western games do they have?
Tomb Raider, Hitman.
Hitman. They have Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's going to be those games. I think they have it was announced that they have a new JRPG coming, and that will be there. They're going to reveal it at E3. I think that was actually announced. So it was going to be revealed at E3, or it is going to be revealed at E3. So we'll find out about a new JRPG there. I don't know.
I hope we see a new Bravely Default, too.
Yeah.
Well,
Bravely Default 2nd is already coming out.
Yeah, I know, but I hope we see it there.
Oh, well, it probably will be. I imagine it's going to be like most third-party conferences, and what they'll do is they'll maybe announce one game that we don't know about, and the rest of the hour will be like 10 to 15-minute demo sections where they talk to the developers. So we'll really only see, Hitman and Deus Ex and Tomb Raider. Like, we'll just see those giant sections, and we'll get to see a little bit of talk about it, but it's not going to be a really interesting conference. So that's pretty much what I think.
Who knows? I mean, maybe they'll put out a good game for once in the last 10 years.
Tomb Raider?
Ooh.
What are you talking about?
I'm kidding. Tomb Raider is really good. I enjoyed that, but it's my thing for today. I'm just making jabs in any situation I can.
All right, so
everyone's going to hate us.
Let's go to the real jab-worthy topic.
Yes.
Email from ESPN guy 4000. He said, "Why you nerds?"
Anyway.
You like how I worded that? Okay, so the real story. ESPN's Colin, is it Coward? Whatever.
Coward.
He says that if he was forced to cover video games, he would quit his job, which is in reference to this weekend's coverage, ESPN2 coverage of Heroes of the Dorm, which was a college contest. It was college kids playing video games against each other, and it was a shitstorm, like an absolute shitstorm on Twitter, on like Facebook, everywhere. People were just absolutely bashing it and talking about how all these people were just fat kids. These were stupid. This should never be on ESPN. And it's like these are the same people who watch, gambling tournaments on ESPN. Yeah. Who watch Shuffleboard on ESPN, who watch all this
Shuffleboard happens on ESPN?
Oh, yeah. Dude, you have no idea. ESPN2 is just it's the black duck, or whatever.
It's got a squirrel, water.
It's horrible. But anyways, his exact quote said, "If I'm ever forced to cover guys playing video games, I will retire." And then said, "Somebody lock the basement door at Mom's house and don't let him out. I tagged out at Harry Potter. I tolerated Donkey Kong. I'll tell you what that was the equivalent of there. Me putting a gun in my mouth and having to listen to that. Unbelievable. You know what the funny thing is? Listen to how intense they are. Those guys are totally into it." Fuck you, Colin.
I mean, that's a good point. It's like those guys are totally into it. Why do you need to be here at all?
Yeah.
You don't. Also,
Exactly.
like someone
Right.
made a good point. His job security is in hand because he doesn't know jack about video games, so no one's gonna ever ask him to do that. So it's
Right.
no one needs to know his opinion on the topic either. If someone wants to enjoy themselves and compete for college tuition, by the way, that's a very good cause.
Yep.
He can shut up and continue doing his job and never speak of this again.
Yeah. It's just much in the same way where the football or basketball or golf or any other sport is on TV. You don't see video game faces, people who are in the industry who don't care about sports, constantly talking about why they don't want it on TV, why they don't want to watch it, why it's stupid, why all these steroid guys, these masculine men are doing the stupid stuff. Like, people don't have to care about every piece of entertainment. They don't have to. You don't have to
Right.
pay any attention to it. So you don't need to comment on it. You don't need to talk negatively about something you, one, don't understand, and two, you don't like. So,
All right. I'll be devil's advocate. I don't believe any of this bullshit. But I will play devil's advocate here because we're all, of course, going to be railing at ESPN, dude, Mr. Coward. So ESPN, sports station, traditionally sports station. Now we could say that that e-gaming is, it's a game. It certainly takes a lot of talent. Do we consider it a sport, though? I mean, at my school, marching band's a sport. I was in marching band. I had a varsity letter jacket. I don't think I deserve that.
Under definition, e-gaming is a sport now because you can get visas for it.
yeah, I was going to say anything that has competition is a sport.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're doing. It's, the people like him who say this kind of stuff are people who don't want to open up to things changing. They want
Right.
it to only ever be football. They want it to only ever be baseball. They want it to only ever be basketball, and that's it. As soon as things start to change, they get uncomfortable.
I would imagine that, I don't know, I can't remember this far back, but I would imagine like when they were covering skateboarding in the 90s
Yep.
and, extreme
Yeah.
sports, maybe it was something like this. They
Yep.
just didn't have social media at the time.
It was, and it's just like when sports open up to allowing more sexes, like
Right.
golf, allowing a female golfer to enter in, like the whole female golfing taking off and things like that. Female sports, the WNBA, things like that, when those get televised, it does a similar thing. It causes a shitstorm on Twitter because there are so
Right.
many people who don't like change, who don't want that stuff on their TVs, and just fucking change the channel. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Right.
I cannot begin to understand closed-mindedness like this.
It's also like,
Right.
why did he even have to say anything? Because they are people whose job is to shoutcast
Yep.
and do this job, the same thing he does, except for for video games. There are people who do that already. No one, I highly doubt ESPN was like, you, ignorant old man who knows nothing about what he's talking about. We want you to come and talk about something that you clearly have no experience with or interest in. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. No, they probably kept with like Day 9 doing it and stuff because he knows what he's talking about. Amazing, right?
The guy who was actually doing the shoutcast for this event, he actually he tweeted at Colin and said, "To be fair, ESPN Colin, I would also quit my job if I ever had to study or commentate baseball or American football."
Right.
It's just like, I just I just don't understand. The part I do understand is that he is a face. He's a figure. He's a voice. And with that, the way to get more people paying attention to you is to say outrageous things. There are all kinds of sports commentators and sports faces who do this, who say stupid shit on purpose because they know it's going to cause a shitstorm. They know it's going to bring more people over. They know more people are going to pay attention to his name. And that may be one of the reasons why he did this. Because I follow Skip Bayless. Do either of you know who Skip Bayless is?
No.
No.
He is a very, very well-known sports guy, ESPN guy, and he just constantly tweets out the most stupid, asinine comments about different sports, different players, different teams. And then within a month or so, will tweet out the exact opposite and act as if he had never said what he previously said. He's like, oh, I've always been saying this. And it's like people will screen cap his tweet before and his tweet afterwards. They'd be like, no, you fucking haven't. Like, he just does it just to cause a shitstorm. And that's just kind of how I look at this guy. Like, he is just talking out of his ass because he knows it's going to get attention.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I Go ahead.
There's a difference between being a hypocrite in the case of Skip Bayless and being an ignorant idiot. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But what were you going to say, Lou?
I don't necessarily remember. I agree to some extent. Then again, I understand people who are upset over this. I understand people who are resistant to change. Then, like, I'm someone who used to really enjoy watching MTV, and now I can't anymore because MTV isn't the same as what it was. I'd be interested in seeing what the viewership is like between ESPN and Twitch nowadays. I want to see, if they're comparable, because my guess is they are. I think that, I know G4 didn't really take off much, but I think that it's getting to a point where there could be their own show about esports running constantly. Yeah. And people will watch it. A lot of people will watch it.
Absolutely.
Esports are going through the growing pains of becoming a legitimate sport. Like with the issues we had, last year with females having their own league in StarCraft and Hearthstone, and this year with this nonsense and people not accepting what's happening. And also, there's
females have their own league in Hearthstone.
It was females had to have their own separate league, and men couldn't compete in it, but females could compete in the men's league. That
makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. It was stupid, but I'm pretty sure they already abolished it.
We talked about it on the podcast.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah. It was silly nonsense, but I mean that's what happens. But also, there's a fun fact that I don't know if many people know, but there's a thing called a channel guide, and there's 15 different ESPNs on there.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem with what one of them is showing, there are 14 other options for you to go to. Fun fact.
Right.
So.
Wasn't chess in the Olympics at one time, or is it?
Someone commented that earlier on in our chat.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's I don't know. It's just if this is a sport. This is absolutely a sport now. It doesn't have to be extremely popular. It doesn't have to be football. It doesn't have to be baseball. But it
doesn't have to be physical.
I don't know. I still am the mind that it's not a sport.
You also don't like sports. You don't really have a comment. You don't have an opinion that it matters.
That doesn't mean I didn't play sports.
Nobody cares what you think if you don't like sports to begin with.
That doesn't mean I don't play sports and I don't like watching sports. I just don't like. I can understand. There's I think a physicality difference in sports. I don't know. That's why I also don't think that a lot of Olympic games are sports. I think that's a reason they call it Olympic Games instead of Olympic sports. But
they're all competitions.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's completely legitimate for what it is, and it totally deserves the recognition and all the praise it's getting. But I can understand the people who are upset, and I'm not of that like mind because I just don't care. Like you guys said, I don't care enough about sports to feel something impinging on me. But I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I just don't identify.
All right, let's move on to the game releases this week before we go way out there. By the way, Lou, when you left last week, we started a brand new segment during this segment. A new game.
Lou messes everything up?
Nope.
Segment?
A new game we're playing, and it's the best title that week. We haven't named it really. It's the best title. So we're going to vote after we go through the list and vote which was the best title that week. Okay? Just title. Not gameplay. Nothing that has to do with the game. Just the title.
Got it.
What was our winner last week? Do you remember, Miles?
It was the thing I mentioned in chat after. Oh God, the tree of something, and it was a rhyme. I forgot what it was.
I don't know. Well, we'd have to go back and listen. Anyways,
all right.
Okay.
That's how insignificant this is.
Video games. Yeah, video games out on PS4 this week. Broken Age, which is cross-buy. Omega Quintet or something. Anyways, Project Root, which is cross-buy. And then Tropico 5. On PlayStation 3, you've got Paranormal Pursuit, The Gifted One Collector's Edition, Risk, And then on Vita, you've got Broken Age, which is cross-buy, Project Root, which is cross-buy, and then Sketch Cross.
Right.
All right. For Xbox One, we have The Golf Club, State of Decay Year 1 Survival
Golf
Edition.
Club.
Yeah, The Golf Club. That's an interesting one. We need to see what's on PC before we pick, though. But for Xbox 360, you guys are getting Risk, and that's it. I'm sorry.
On Wii U, nothing this week. Surprise. Though, of course, you have your Mario Kart 8 DLCs. Go and play those. For 3DS, you have Carouse, the Beast of Eden.
That's a Japanese title.
That is absolutely a Japanese title.
Now for PC, we have Shadowrun Chronicles, Boston Lockdown. You all have a lot of games this week, so bear with me. Verdun,
I think
Broken
it's
Age.
Verdun.
Verdun? Excuse me.
Yeah, the Battle of
Okay.
Verdun, I think. Anyways.
Verdun, Broken Age Act 2, The Golf Club, State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition, The Perils of Man, Ultimate Tic-Tac-Toe, because that needed a game, WWE 2K15, Phlegm. Is that what that says?
Yep.
That is exactly
Phlegm.
what that says. The Weaponographist? The Weaponographist.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's not a word. Metamorphabit?
Metamorphobit.
Yeah, it's
Like
like an
metamorph-
alphabet with
Like
metamorphing.
alphabet. Like alphabet, but metamorphing.
Sounds good. Truck Mechanic Simulator 2015. Oh god. Guns, gore, and cannoli. I'm thinking that's my top pick right now. Solinix, RBI
Solinix.
Baseball 15. Oh, is it supposed to be pronounced a different way?
Solarix. You said
Oh.
Solinix.
Oh, excuse me. I'm leaning far away. It looked like an N. Solarix. Sorry, people. Gathering Sky. Order of Battle Pacific. Stealth Inc. 2, A Game of Clones. Subterranean. Subterrane. Skyforce Anniversary. Chroma Squad. Second Coming Tactical Training. That's an odd name. Abyss Raiders Uncharted and Trigger Saint.
Did you notice that Abyss Raiders Uncharted has two of the words in Uncharted Golden Abyss?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Just in case someone is looking on Steam for Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Yep. You'll find this one. They'll be like, it's close enough. Okay, so
All
what
right,
are your
so-
votes for?
Mine's definitely guns, gore, and cannoli, because as many people know who live around me, I always have to go with cannoli.
See, we have a story on that game, and so like I know too much about it already. That I was just like, I don't want to vote for that one. I want to vote for one of the more outrageous ones.
I'm actually a little bit torn because there was the wonderful sounding title Phlegm, because everyone loves that. The
Oh
Weaponographist.
God.
Metamorphabit, the Golf Club, which I think is just an ingenious name, and of course, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli.
What about a Game of Clones?
A
do
Game
like
of
that.
Clones is clever.
That's
That is clever.
yeah, it's a clever one. My personal vote is for Metamorphabet. I'm just like, what? How do you...
It's nonsensical. And of course, since this actually isn't a specific or special segment, really, we don't really have to award anyone
No.
best name. So those are just the names we really like this week.
Exactly.
Everybody wins, except for
Everybody
anyone that
wins.
wasn't picked. You guys lose.
Truck Simulator or Truck Mechanic Simulator. When I was making the list, I got to that one and I was like, what the fuck? Like, how many simulators do we need? Really?
All of the simulators.
Now, are you repairing the trucks, or are you just simulating the life of being a truck mechanic? And you just go home to your mildly depressed wife. Why did I marry you?
See, I was trying to think when I was writing it down. I was like, what kind of person wants to play this game? Like, does an actual truck mechanic come home and want to play this game, or do they want to play like racing games, or Grand Theft Auto? It's like, if somebody's doing that with their life, whether or not they enjoy that as their career, do they want to do it also in a game? Like, I don't know. It's really interesting. Wonder what their target audience is.
Little do we know, it's like Goat Simulator, and you actually run around breaking trucks
Oh.
in like people's driveways at night, so they have to bring them to you.
Truck Vandalizer Simulator.
Exactly.
Okay, that wraps up episode 81 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. Of course, we are running another giveaway in case you missed out, in case you didn't win on the last two, which were for Shovel Knight or Broken Age or State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition. This next one is for Wolfenstein The Old Blood, which is the prequel to Wolfenstein The New Order. That'll be on all the consoles or whatever, and it comes out next week, next Tuesday. And so if you want to enter into that, you can, and you can win that on whatever console you want. Check out a story on our website for it. It'll be up sometime on Tuesday, which is today, sometime later this evening. We typically record the podcast on Tuesdays and release it on Tuesday nights as soon as I'm done. So that's always, you can always find it first, the MP3. It'll be up on all the podcast hosting services. I put that up the second I'm done with it. After that, I move on to the video, which takes a lot longer. Then, if you want to email us any questions for us to read up on the next podcast, it is at contact.mong@gmail.com. Very easy, very short. You can find us on Twitter at mong.com, all spelled out, MONGDOTCOM. Are you going to say something, Lou? You're getting really close to your mic.
I just like being really close.
So weird. Oh, and then you can find us on YouTube at two different channels, youtube.com/user/Mong Network, and that's where all of our podcasts, video reviews, like we have 3 different podcasts, so it's like I want to say like Mong Podcast, QuickTime Event, More Than the Score, video reviews, all the trailers, everything else, and then youtube.com/c/Middle of Nowhere Gaming Place. That's where all of our Let's Plays and live streams go, though not a lot of them have been going up there lately. We've been very distracted with homework and jobs and other real life problems, but that should change eventually. And then you can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram by just searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. Very simple. And then the website is middleofnowheregaming.com. That's where you can find all the latest editorials, news, reviews, podcasts, videos, Miles dancing, everything. It's always there. It's there. That's where we call home. So check it out. And then you can find us all on Twitter. I am at Osborne_2009. Lou is
Luke and Taldy.
NPR voice.
And Miles is
Furious Milk.
Mong.
Mong.
Keep it milky, folks.
Mong.
Boom.